Romania, a country of unspoiled natural beauty in the southeastern corner of Europe. Its 240,000 square kilometers has Bulgaria, Hungary, Yugoslavia and the Soviet Union as its neighbors, stretching from the Black Sea Riviera to the heights of the Carpathian Mountains. The ancient towns and villages reflect the country's long history. Before the Roman conquest in the 2nd century AD, the territory was called Dacia. The people, described by Herodotus as the bravest and most just of the Thracians, are open, friendly and hospitable. Times have not stood still. Orsova is typical of modern Romania, a completely new town built on the banks of the Danube, famous for its beautiful gardens. One of the main tourist attractions is the superbly designed Catholic church. There is still evidence of the immense Roman influence, including the remains of this magnificent bridge across the Danube, built for Emperor Trajan in 105 AD. An amazing technical achievement since the Danube is the second largest river in Europe. It's the river that flows through areas of exceptional beauty that has been the inspiration of painters, poets, novelists, and of course composers for centuries. Mention the Danube today in motorsport circles and everyone immediately thinks of the rally held here since 1964, the famous Rally of the Danube. All the top drivers from the socialist countries, plus other leading Western rallyists, are gathered here in Drobeta Turnov-Severin as scrutineering takes place. Cars must conform to international rally regulations, but also they have to be legally fit to drive on public roads. Whatever their nationality, the common talking point is rallying.
And ich kenne mich Champion in diesem Auto für Fiat N7Y und mit Reduktion. Das ist besser, ist 240, 260.
Martin Holmes talks to a representative from the Romanian factory where the Dacia 1300s are built. The enthusiastic crowds are eager to take in the whole scene. As documentation takes place, these sponsors are everywhere, helping to brighten up the cars. Outside the Park Hotel, headquarters for most of the foreign crews, we catch Castrol's Peter O'Brien talking to Chris Wathen.
You got any weather forecast?
No, as far as I know, the weather should be okay.
Yes. I think it will be at this time of the year. There's generally no problem.
No, well, I have a Romanian co-driver, so that's very helpful as far as local knowledge is concerned.
What about language?
He speaks a little English and a little French, so we're getting by quite well, really.
Even with your English.
My English, yeah.
Hot favourites for the event are the Austrian pair, Franz Wittmann and Helmut Diemal, in their Opel Kadett.
Kurz danach, da brauchen wir wieder before and done.
Ruth Hillier from Great Britain is the youngest competitor.
We broke the brake caliper.
Oh.
Well, we stuck it together with glue.
Glue?
Yes. And we're hoping it'd be okay.
Did we satisfactory?
Well, we've done a bit of recce with it since, and it lasted out on that.
How's the engine performing?
Engine's okay, yeah. We're a bit worried about punctures. Tarmac stages don't suit the car because it's a heavy car,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be very fast on the tarmac. It's more of a car that's going to last on the bumpy ground where the others are going to break up.
As start time draws near, a huge crowd assembles in front of the theatre and all the vantage points around. Wittmann is first onto the ramp for the official start. Each of the competitors from the 14 nations taking part are presented with good luck flowers by young members of the Pioneer organization. The Danube is a round of the European Rally Championship and also a round of the Peace and Friendship Championship for socialist countries. From Turnu-Severin, the cars travel north on the first few kilometers of their 1,600-kilometer journey, passing many of Romania's tourist attractions. As dusk begins to fall on the lake, we catch up with the rally again, for it's here in the mountains that the special stages begin. The rally is made up of 31 of these special stages, covering some 342 kilometers. The winner of the rally is the driver who makes fastest time on these special stages, which of course are closed to normal traffic. In between the stages are controls to make sure drivers keep to their time limit. Number 3 in the Renault Alpine is the Bulgarian Ilya Chubrikov, winner the last 2 times and out for a hat-trick. As the night wears on, the cars move further into the Carpathian Mountains. Literally into the mountains as the cars go through the tunnel that links the Transfer-Garrison Highway to the Bühler Pass. The walls of the tunnel echo to the sound of exhausts. Russian Ido Ryder has a quick inspection of the Lada. During the night, the drivers go as far north as Sibiu, and dawn finds them climbing the spectacular pass above Bühler Cascade. A number 1 on the road, and at the moment number 1 in the rally, are the Austrians Franz Wittmann and Helmut Diemal in the Opel. The Czechs, Blana and Hlavka in the Skoda, really trying. The Porsche, driven by Kolev and Stoyanov, is lying in 4th position. Weitzer in another Czech Skoda. This is a spectacular stage, reminiscent of the major Alpine rallies. The Swedes, Krana and Bertilsson in their Saab. The Dacia down below is driven by Romanian Ilya Oceanu, who was 3rd last year. The winding road is a tribute to Romanian skill and engineering. Hutu's Dacia crosses the finish line at the end of the stage. Ruth Hillier's still going strong in the Persia. 5:30 a.m. and 2,000 meters up in the mountains, it's pretty cold for the officials and timekeepers. Back through the tunnel again. There's no time to admire the scenery as the cars return to the valley and the special forest stages around the lake. The regular users of these forest tracks seem quite unperturbed by all the action. But watch out round that corner. Wittmann. Chubrikov. Kolev. Kvaitsa gets the back end going. The Bolchik brothers with their Russian Moskvich. Havel in the Skoda is going well, and up to third place ahead of Sedivi in the blue-striped Skoda. Olteanu is again the leading Dacia driver. From Yugoslavia, Kuzmik in the BMW. Further round the lake, the Belgians, Van Herk and Van den Bogert, test the suspension on the Volvo.
Veniți din patru catedrale, a patru feluri de a crede. Să înțelegeți, să rețineți, odată pentru totdeauna, că fața cerului albastră, că fața frunzelor e verde, că peste noi se arată pururi, acelea soarele și luna, că nu sunt șerpi, ci că sunt brațe de muncă și de regăsire, că nu șenile, ci sunt alba acestor trupuri mergătoare, că dunga vocii pe tuneric nu mi se face mai subțire, că-i un copil această braiște care rănește și răsare. Din patru feluri de a crede, veniți din patru catedrale, sorbiți lumina injectată a ochilor ce aminți, că sursa sângelui e steaua, când arde nuntul nostru moale. Noi în pereții de columne privind ne regăsim părinții.
From here, it's a winding forest route back to Turner Severin. and a few hours rest and check on positions before the night start to the final stages. Helmut Diemel gives a confident wave to the large crowd before setting off, knowing he and Wittmann have a 4-minute lead. The others follow in quick succession as the cars speed off into the night. Wittmann is driving like a champion and still holding the lead he has held for 3 days and 2 nights. Unlucky Blana has dropped out 3 stages before the finish with broken front suspension, so everyone else has moved up a place. Teammate Kvaitsa is now 4th. The irrepressible Chubrikov is still fighting every inch of the way and is now 5th. Kolev in the Porsche is 3rd. Even though it's the final stage, every second is vital, so no one's slacking off. Havel has had a storming night and is now 2nd behind Wittmann. The spectators, who have in some cases been awake as long as the drivers, still follow progress with interest. Martin Santa. Ruth Hillier. Iliwa. Markov. Every driver still running has earned respect. None more so than Lubiak in the little Polish Fiat 126. But many have fallen by the wayside. The weather has been perfect for both drivers and spectators. As the tail-enders set off on the road to Orsova, the leaders are already nearing Chernu-Severin. The huge crowd waits expectantly. The results have already been radioed ahead. Wittmann and Diemel, fittingly with number 1 on the side of the Opel, mount the ramp in front of the theatre to be proclaimed worthy winners. Chubrikov failed in his bid to be winner for the 3rd time, but loses none of his cheerfulness. Kolev acknowledges the cheers for his 3rd place. Kvaitsa is part of the most successful team. Together with Havel, who was 2nd, and Sedivi, who was 6th, they won the Nations Cup for Czechoslovakia and a manufacturer's prize for Skoda. Iliwa, who was the 2nd Romanian behind Olceanu, brings his Dacia onto the ramp, one of the 28 Dacias to finish this grueling rally. great reception for 17-year-old Ruth Hillier and her Romanian co-driver Lucia Cocian, who battled on to finish 40th overall and to take the ladies' prize.
Get them all up. Fantastic, Alison. Well done. Come again.
And have you had any particular problems with the car?
We bent the steering rod in the second half, and the steering was bad for a while, wheels facing opposite ways out. But apart from that, it wasn't too bad. We got that mended with our service crew, and it was okay apart from that, no punctures or anything.
What sort of stages did you like best?
The rough ones. I preferred the rough ones in the second half, and I like the rough one round the lake in the first half. I don't like the tarmac. It's not suited for the car because the car's too heavy.
How have you been getting on with your co-driver? What language do you speak?
English. I'm lazy and she knows English, so that's what we speak. She's done very well.
Lubiak and Wisłowski explain how their Polski Fiat 126 was the smallest car in the rally. But now the tensions are over and the drivers can relax. Wittmann and Diemel celebrate with the traditional champagne shower. The comradeship of rallying unites all nations. Rivals become friends.
No, we kept our service plan safe for safety only, as we had 4 minutes plus, and so he did not best times. Okay, there was one gravel stage, and gravel is his specialty, so he was best there, of course, but nothing else. On the other stage is mainly Blachner and Chubrikov.
And the problems with the car? Any problems at all?
Not serious ones, no. We had one broken shock absorber tonight, that was all.
With the rally over, the dust begins to settle on the forest roads. But the drivers, wherever they've come from, will take with them their own special memories of Romania, a country of immense contrasts and natural beauty. The picturesque lakes, the towering forests, the awe-inspiring mountains, the wildlife, the traditions of history and culture. The new Romania, with its forward thinking and its ultra-modern technology. Above all, the drivers will remember the friendliness of the Romanian people. Was it a good rally?
Yes, it was a nice event.
Rallying today is perhaps the most popular form of motorsports. The cars appear basically like the ones we drive every day, so that anyone can associate with the top stars in the sport. The World Rally Championships, one for cars and one for drivers, are fought out in a series of events all over the world. Conditions are as different as they can be, from the snow and ice of winter to the African bush, on mountain passes and forest tracks. A car and driver that can come out on top have truly proved themselves in this toughest form of automobile competition. This is the story of 2 European rounds of the World Rally Championship. The Lombard RAC Rally held in Britain in November, and the San Remo a month earlier on the Italian Riviera. The San Remo started life in 1928, and over the years has become Italy's premier rally. On scrutineering day, the triumphs arrive in style. The Datsun a little more sedately. rally plates and stickers are everywhere. Breezing in on the wind, an entry from the Federazione Auto Radish Torino. Tyres are one of the most important factors in rally success. Tread patterns and compounds to suit every conceivable surface. Rallies attract a large following. The sticker hunters. And those on the lookout for something else. A really beautiful setting for this 21st birthday San Remo Rally. Representing the host country, Fiat are here in force. First away is Marco Allen, who with Walter Roll and Attilio Bettiger are in 131s. Vanni Fusaro completes the team in a Ritmo. Strongly fancied is Italian privateer Antonio Fassina in the Stratos, who drives as Tony. The two Triumphs are driven by Simo Lampinen and Per Eklund. Timo Salonen is on his own for Datsun. Jean-Louis Dumont from Belgium in the Chevette. The Ford Works team are not at San Remo, but Ford Italia keep the flag flying with a Group 1 escort driven by Angelo Prezotto. It's early on Monday morning as the cars head for the mountains behind San Remo and the asphalt stages which have traditionally been the scene of the rally. The Vignay stage is typical. Marco Allen in the 131 Abarth already having problems, and both Roll and Bettiger beat him on this stage. No problems for Tony and the fabulous Stratos. Simo Lampinen in the TR7 V8. Tony Pond in the Talbot Sunbeam. Tabaton was fastest on the first stage, but on the next stage he ran out of road and wrecked the Stratos. Fusaro in the Ritmo driving with 32 stitches in his head, the result of a recce collision with Salonen's Datsun. Prezotto. Cars start the special stages at 1-minute intervals, so when two cars arrive together, one of them's had problems, or the other guy is very quick indeed. In addition to the international competitors, a club event for Autobianchis is held over the first few stages of the rally. What they lack in power, they make up in enthusiasm. Now to Plodio, last test before the 4-hour drive east across Italy to the next group of stages. Rally or no rally, an Italian citizen exercises his rights, but he'd better get a move on. The Stratos of Brion. An added incentive to win the Autobianchi class is an entry in the RAC Rally. On to the Autostrada, and 150 miles later, a welcome rest at the Il Ciocco service point. The Triumph gets a routine service after reporting no major problems, unlike the French Talbot of Nicolas and Tot. Not competing this year, renowned co-driver Henry Liddon finds out for us what the problems are.
Yes, we are turning the axle, but not because of the axle, but just because there are one bolt on each side of the axle, and to take the wheel out, the only possibility is to change the axle.
It's just one wheel nut, wouldn't come undone. There's nothing wrong with the axle at all.
Not at all. And we have exactly the same problem, which is quite funny on the other side.
Tony, leading the rally, sets off into the night. The rally passes through many villages. Local interest is high, but the enthusiasm can cause problems. The local police table tennis champion appears to have things well in hand. But surprisingly, everyone gets through to the night service halt at Casiana Terme. Henry Liddon asks Marco Allen what he feels so far.
For me it's going very well, but this rally is very, very long.
Very long, yes, it's very long. But now you're going to start the gravel stages.
Yes. But this gravel is also very, very bad.
Very
like
bad.
in Greece or some states in like Africa, and all the time you go very, very slowly.
As Marcus says, this is a long rally. The organizers have extended the rally through Tuscany to the Adriatic coast in order to include tough gravel stages. Angelo Prezotto and Max Sciadoni have got their surprisingly fast Group 1 escort up among the leaders at La Selva. Pond puts a little life into his sunbeam. Eklund has the TR flying and is third fastest on this stage. Boogli in one of the many private Opels. Allen is still first on the road at Cassano. But Tony is leading overall. Lampinen. The dust makes everybody thirsty. Well held, sir. At the end of each special stage, the drivers are given their times, and they're also radioed through to control.
Allora lo riscrivo qua, numero.
On to Siena. Briand in the Stratus carves through the traffic. The normally quiet paved streets echo to the sound of exhausts. The square at Siena, scene of the world-famous horse race, provides a beautiful setting for Tuesday's lunch halt. Today, a far different kind of horsepower is on view. Some of the morning stages are repeated after lunch. This is La Selva again. The rolling hills of Tuscany. Tony and the Stratos kick up the dust. Prezotto in the escort, still going strong. From here, the rally winds its way to an overnight halt at the tiny mountaintop republic of San Marino, the smallest in the world. Val d'Ativa, the first stage on Wednesday's loop around San Marino. Walter Roll in the leading Fiat. Tony. Pond in the surviving Sunbeam. Nicholas must have run out of axles. Eklund gets it nicely sideways. Dumont, a little closer to the bank. And Nico opens an account with it. Everyone agreed that the gravel stages on the San Marino loop were the best on the rally. Newcomer to the international scene, Vatanen, is ahead of his more famous teammate, Marco Allen. Risotto, neat and tidy. Eklund, with enormous power under his right foot, controls it well. The spectators are well down on previous years, as the rally passes farms and through sleepy villages. Fiat are about to play their joker. They have ways of dealing with the opposition. Walter Roll now appears to be leading.
Yes. But there is some confusion on the results. Yes. It's... we calculate by ourselves.
Yes,
Tony should lead 50 seconds before me.
Yes.
That's...
But the organisers say that you're in front by 1 minute.
Yes, that's right.
But the organisers were wrong. And Tony sets off, leading the rally by a minute. On the return trip to San Remo, several of Wednesday night's stages had to be cancelled, possibly due to an earlier incident involving a rally car and a local policeman. Thursday morning, Tony back on tarmac again at Screvion in the hills behind San Remo. Bettiger lying third. Still surprising everyone with this performance, Risotto's fourth. Of the 67 starters, only 30 are still running. Higher up the mountains, mist makes driving conditions even more difficult. But after this, drivers have a welcome rest before the final night stages of the rally. At the San Romolo service area, there's time to relax before the action starts. Tony appears confident.
The car is good?
The car is good and high is good.
Tony Pond, secure in his fourth place. Marco Allen, and the strain of this very long rally shows. But there are compensations. Risotto's co-driver Max, as carefree as ever.
Many problems. We have to make the special stage with the rain. It's not raining. It's like to be in the beach. It's the sun. And so we've lost some times, but there are no problem.
Now it's all downhill back to San Remo for the finish. San Remo and the ramp stands deserted. But with the dawn comes the spectators, ready to welcome the hero's return. A really popular victory for many reasons. Primarily, an Italians won the San Remo Rally. Then the Italians loved the sight and sound of the Stratos. And of course, Tony and Manini are privateers, entered by the Piave Jolly Club. And they've taken on and beaten the mighty works effort of Fiat. Some of the biggest cheers of the day were saved for Prezotto and Schidoni, who walked away with Group 1.
We are 7 overall. We are fast in the Group 1. With this rally we have won the Italian championship of the Group 1.
Even more important, their win has given Ford 12 points and virtually clinched the World Manufacturers' Championship. A time for celebration.
Dai Max, dai! Lava Max, la prima donna. Sì, ma se venivano fuori i mutini Oh, così. Castro! Addio Pellegrini e Ciucco.
And now for something completely different. The Lombard RAC Rally. This rally attracts the best entry in the world, especially the Scandinavians. Hannu Mikkola, Marco Alén, Bjorn Valdegaard, Ari Vatanen, Per Eklund, Pentti Arikkola. Huge crowds cram every vantage point on the ancient rows at Chester. But who can give them a British victory? Possibly the last Englishman to win this famous rally, Roger Clark, who's aware of the strength of the opposition.
Well, the RAC Rally attracts probably the best entry in the world, so anyone who's here in a factory car could win, I think.
Do you think the other cars had perhaps the lasting ability of the Escort, or do you think weight
Well, their
of
other
numbers
cars are just as quick as the Escort. I don't think probably they're as reliable as the Escort yet.
Castrol's David Edelston asks Tony Pond how the RAC compares with San Remo.
Well, the only way it does compare is the fact it's a world championship. San Remo, you go and you practice, the stages are longer, the weather's better, it's warmer, and you drive up and down mountains all day. With this, the first day you drive around the stately homes and then into the forest where the rally starts.
Perhaps Britain's best chance for victory, Russell Brooks.
No, I think that the RAC Rally is the biggest rally in the world in terms of entry, and every driver in it would love to win it, and that's what we would like to do, quite frankly.
What do you think of the format of the event? These first few stages today, you've got a long road mileage and a few stages of stately homes.
I think on paper it's the best RAC Rally I've ever seen.
The rest of the 180 starters set off on the first day's round of the stately homes and parks. A showpiece to give the general public a glimpse of rallying. Sutton Park. Marco Alén has persuaded Lancia, who've retired the Stratos more times than Frank Sinatra, to bring one out to try to win the RAC. Valdegaard leading the World Championship. Ari Vatanen in another of the 7 works escorts. Pentti Arikkola in the DTV Chevette, leading the Sedan British Championship. Russell Brooks, no mistakes on his sponsored stage. Going slowly, one of the Saabs, possibly with a little big end trouble. And here's big end trouble. Cheeky. Brian Kulcheth is retiring after this, his 20th RAC Rally. South African Eric Sanders almost collects a few bales. Greg Carr. Splashing through, American champion John Buffum. But Terry Caby is obviously worried about the waterproofing. The special stage at Donington Park included both the race circuit and the infield. Vatanen really makes the Stratos fly, and now leads the rally by 21 seconds. As night falls, the first scheduled service halt is at Flamingo Park. The Ford service crew take the opportunity to change Voldegaard's back axle, which he damaged when he went off the road on the very first stage.
What actually happened on the first stage, Bjorn?
Just a driver's mistake. I went a bit too fast through a very slippery corner and went off, and with bad luck I hit something solid and damaged the axle.
Did this affect your performance on the subsequent stages?
I don't think so. We lost about 30 or 40 seconds on the first one, but afterwards that's gone very well.
This is the last outing for the Works Escorts, and team manager Peter Ashcroft is a little sad.
Well, yeah, I'll be sad to see the team, as it is, break up, Bjorn go to somebody else, you know, and the drivers disappear to drive for other manufacturers, obviously. But, I mean, we've got to do development for a new vehicle, and regulations change in 82, so I think it's the right thing to do is stop when we're winning.
The Yorkshire Forests, and as everyone says, this is where the rally really starts. The spectators are here in their thousands. At Dalby, the drivers face an artillery barrage of flash guns. Fire tower service area, and Alen arrives well aware that Mikkola is whittling away his lead. The servicing now takes on even more urgency as the night progresses. At Scotch Corner, parking was limited, but Russian ingenuity triumphed and delicate adjustments were made. Dawn finds the competitors on the last of the Kielder stages. Through the night, the escorts have proved, once again, their mastery of the forests. Mikkola now has a 3.5-minute lead over teammate Vatanen, with Russell Brooks third. The snow and ice at the 6 Kielder forest stages took a heavy toll, with over 20 retirements. Shinya Yomochi uses the back end of his Mazda as a snowplow. Over the border to Scotland, Ari Vatanen, Pentti Ricola, Per Eklund, of the 19 special stages since the Flamingo Park service halt, Hannu Mikkola has been fastest on no less than 14, emphasizing his mastery of the forests. At Carlisle, Hannu looks completely relaxed.
You've had a good night?
Yes.
You've been extending your lead through the night?
Yes, it has gone very well.
And what is your lead now?
It's 3 minutes, was 44 seconds. So.
And did any of the stages cause any particular problems?
No, it has been, a few stages has been covered by snow, and those has been very difficult to drive as the first car.
Ari Vatanen.
Well, on the other hand satisfying, on the other hand depressing. And by satisfying I mean that we have stayed on the road, car has stayed in one piece. And by depressing I mean that we haven't gone fast enough.
The car's given no problems at all?
No. Just Mikkola has been too fast.
Do you think you can do anything about that lead?
No way. Just, quite happy to settle on second place if I can.
And what are you going to do now again?
I was hoping to meet my wife, and I don't think I'm going to.
The weather improves as the rally moves down to the Lake District. Gernda Eidi was fancied in some quarters to take the ladies' prize, but was no match for Finland's Marka Liisa-Kopi, who finished a fine 34th overall. Mikkola gives a perfect demonstration of his own smooth style of driving. Russell Brooks having a good rally. Marco Alen, happier with the Stratos on the smoother Lake District stages. Simo Lampinen in the second of the triumphs. Greg Carr. Jimmy Ray in the Audi. Glorious weather as we move on to Dart. Mikkola. Auricola. From the lakes, the rally moves to Oulton Park, where Jimmy McRae spells out his problems.
We spent most of the night, last night, with terrible trouble with fumes coming into the car. It's coming through the tailgate at the back. And we had a puncture in Kielder, which we had to stop and change on the stage, which cost us 4 or 5 minutes. And then in Grisdale 2, the half shaft broke. We had to freewheel the last half of the stage to get the car out. So I don't know where we are. We're well back now. Yeah.
Pentti Auricola has had his problems.
Some timing problems. We hit the gate post in Brabant Park and damaged the car slightly, but we didn't lose very much time.
Tuesday morning, Western Park and fog. Timo Salonen in the single-cam Group 2 Datsun has been quietly moving up the leaderboard. Western Park is one of several Castrol spectator stages. Roger Platt nearly loses it. But Charlie Payne duly obliges. Into Wales and Diffnant. Mikkola's lead is now 5 minutes. Still battling, Tony Pond fourth, a lone sunbeam among the escorts. Malcolm Wilson, who's been off, has Salonen right up his... very close behind. Allen. Auricola. Tapio Reno and Henry Liddon in the surviving Toyota. At Kerry, the huge gallery of spectators, not to say cameramen, were relieved when the swirling mists lifted just minutes before the arrival of the competitors. Roger Clark in 7th position. Ari Vatanen still second. Valdegaard down to an uncharacteristic 9th position. Marco Alen nearly puts the Stratos over the edge. Eklund tries even harder. The spectator interest at the RAC is always staggering, and the enthusiasts are once again on the march. They converge in their thousands to spend the night in Radna, which the rally uses twice. Into Brecon comes Russell Brooks with problems.
Danny, see if you can find 400-watt bulbs as well, eh? When it out of this, blown both of them.
Had a fairly drastic problem on the last one where the alternator diode has gone wrong, allowing the alternator to grossly overcharge, and it's blown all the bulbs.
We asked Peter Ashcroft what his team tactics would be.
Well, I think both Hanno and Dari and Russell have enough time between each other anyway not to worry each other. There's enough time for a sort of puncture. So really they just settle down and go, you know, the normal sort of quickly as they can without doing too much damage or getting into too many problems.
Any problems, Andy?
No, I've woken up today. I had a good night's sleep last night, and I'm starting to go a bit better.
Car's fine.
Yeah, we haven't touched the thing. The mechanics keep going around with the torque wrenches, making sure everything's tight, and keep saying to me it's okay. We haven't even changed the shock absorber on it yet.
What about the fog? Is that any problem?
What? Terrible.
W anchor? That's a strange blood group. A helpful interpreter.
Everything all right? No problem? Oh, thank you. Everything all right, no problem.
Dawn of the final day at Diffie. Valdegard about to be caught by Alain. Salonen, now up to 4th, after making fastest time on 3 stages during the night. Greg Carr, whose long journey really has been worthwhile. Per Eklund, with bent door. Harry Vatanen has picked up a 10-minute penalty for being early at McCuntliff and is really flying. Marco Olem was fastest on Penmacno North. Graham Elsmore in the 3rd remaining triumph. The Great Orme at Llandudno, and fastest here Jimmy McRae in the Chevette. Now up to 3rd place, the remarkable Salonen in his Datsun. In a popular 2nd place, Russell Brooks in the Escorts. Still leading, in a class of his own, Hannu Mikkola. Vatanen is fastest in all 3 Klokkainod stages, but it's not enough.
I think we are penalized by 10 minutes. And we heard that 3 stages are going.
They were quickest so far.
We are come like crazy flying over these stages trying to catch Marco because that 10-minute penalty put us behind. You know, something like 40, 50 seconds behind.
We've taken over a minute off him in those 3 stages.
And on these 3 stages we have, you know, pulled more a minute of Marcus. I think we are now maybe 5th place now.
Well, 2nd place and 1st Britain again, Russell. Are you happy?
Yes, I would have thought the 2nd place was a bit in doubt at the moment. Dari's penalty is very much on a technicality, not on his performance on the rally, but we'll have to see at the finish.
The rally has been as good as usual, but for my personal list, what do you say, most unhappy rally I ever done. So many problems.
Hannu Mikkola arrives at the end of the final stage to notch up his 2nd consecutive RAC Rally win.
Have you enjoyed the rally?
Yes, it was a good rally for me.
You won by a big margin. Did you expect the opposition to be tougher?
You know, it's so long rally, you never know when it expands very much or not, you know. So I'm happy.
No? Andy, what are you looking forward to most now? What are you looking forward to most now?
Go to bed, you know, and have some sleep, yes.
Before that, it's back to Chester to a hero's welcome. Hannu Mikkola and Arnie Hertz deserve the applause. They've beaten the world's best drivers in one of the world's toughest rallies, and done it in style. To win the World Manufacturers Rally Championship, Ford chose Castrol.